raise your right hand high in the sky for me. Nice and high, nice and high. Okay, leave your hand up if you have failed, fallen down, stuffed up, or made a mistake at some point in your life. Double hands. She's like, yes. I can't raise my hands in this top. Leave your hand up. Total fail there. There you go. Leave your hand up if those failures or those times you fell down or you made mistakes or you stuffed up, you beat yourself up over them and you caused yourself a lot of pain and suffering. Yeah, everyone, great. Okay, leave your hand up if you would like to learn how to become besties with failure and see your failures as opportunities for growth and ways that you can grow and evolve your consciousness. Awesome, we got some double hands over there and there. Awesome, okay, you can drop your hands. Because tonight we're talking about failure. This is something that I get asked about all the time, and I thought it was a really good topic to talk about. And more specifically, how to become besties with failure and how to see your failure as opportunities for growth. I was reading in a book the other day, Tony Robbins says, failure is a stepping stone to success. It's not a failure if you learn something. There have been so many times in my life that I have failed, fallen down, made a mistake, or stuffed up. I can give you a couple of examples. When I was thinking about this topic, I was like, okay, let me try and think of some examples. Getting sued in my business by someone I employed. That could be a failure. Breakups, that could be a failure. Ending up in hospital could have been a failure. Cancelling my tour last year could have been a failure. And even things like getting angry at Leo, I could look at as a failure, like I failed as a mum. But I chose to see all of these things as lessons and opportunities for me to grow. And I haven't always thought like this, but this is something that is new. And this is Life University right here. We're not taught this stuff in school. Imagine if they taught us that in school. Like imagine if they said, look, you never can fail, they're always lessons. I'd be like, amazing. I wouldn't be so scared to maybe try some things. But because it's kind of like you can't fail and you can't stuff up and there's so much fear driven into us, we're scared to take these risks. But if you saw everything through the lens of nothing is a failure, you would kind of leap out there a lot more fearlessly, yeah? So the first thing that I want to chat to you about tonight, there's 3 things that we're going to talk about. And the first way that you are going to be able to become besties with fear is by shifting your perception about fear. So write that down. Shift your perception on how you look at fear. Because it all starts with your perception of fear. If you think failure. If you think failure is something that's bad, or when you stuff up or you fall over, if you think it's bad, then that is, like Tony Robbins says, you won't ever grow or get the lesson out of it. And one of the quickest ways to suffering is by looking at life this way, is by looking at life as failures and stuff-ups. So in order for us to become best friends with failure, we have to shift our perception of it first. Yeah, does that make sense? So from this moment forth, we're going to see failure as opportunities for growth, okay? So I want you guys to think about any time in your past that you have labeled as a failure, a stuff-up, a mistake, you've fallen down. Any time, maybe you got fired, maybe you had a divorce. What have you labeled in the past as a failure? Write those down. put your hand up if you don't have one. Okay, everyone's got one. You don't have one?
No, I do have one.
Okay, great. Anything that you have failed at, failed in inverted commas, and when you're finished writing, just look up so I know if I need to give you a little bit more time. Hopefully we don't have too many. And if we do, great, there's lots of lessons. Any time that you've fallen down, you've made a mistake, you've stuffed up, you've failed. Maybe it was even back in school and you actually got an F on something. Any situation where you feel like, yep, I failed at that. It was really hard for me to think of examples. I actually had to call my husband and ask him. I did. I said, babe, I'm talking about failure at the Goddess group. When have I failed? Because and it's not, I'm not saying, oh, I've never failed. It's just, I don't look at it like that anymore, which I'm going to share with you more later on, but I don't look at things like that. And he was like, oh yeah, remember that time you got sued? And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. That could be a failure. And then these other times that I mentioned before. So anything like that, let's write them down. And then let's hear a couple. Do you want to share one?
I feel like I failed to not get nervous when I speak publicly.
Okay, so you think that's a failure. When you speak publicly and you're nervous, you think that's a failure.
Because then my brain stops functioning.
Right. Okay, so you've labeled that as a failure. Okay, right. Okay. Right, what about you?
I found it really hard, actually. I fail a lot, but I can't think of one.
That's great.
I said I fail when I'm being angry at my partner.
Okay, when
Instead of being calm.
Yes. Okay, so you label that as a failure when you get angry at him.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Great. Okay, cool. What about you?
This one sounds ridiculous saying it, I know, because I know how it's not true, but when I get sick, because I'm in the health industry, I've been researching health since I was 3 years old, and when I get sick, I feel like I judge myself so harshly for that.
Yes, and you feel like you failed.
Like how can I,
Yeah, right.
I really struggle with it.
Does anyone else think like that too when they get sick? Yeah, lots of people. Yeah, amazing. What about you?
In April, I actually resign for 6 years.
Yep.
And without telling my husband, I told my husband that it's redundant. And then our construction loan got rejected. But I turned it back as positive focus and energy. I got a new job, new environment, really good work culture company, and better salary. Can go shopping.
So the fact that you lied to your husband is the failure?
Because I don't like because of the restructuring of the company and the culture of the company changed.
Yes.
And it just all uncertain, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
So I resign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is the failure the lying to your husband about it?
I think that I will take two failures.
You got two failures in one, right?
Yeah. So one is I couldn't stay.
You didn't stay in your job.
Yeah.
And lying to your husband. Gotcha. I'm going to send him this, by the way. Just kidding. Yes.
I kind of feel like I failed at writing this list because there's so many things that I probably would have failed at had I tried, but I didn't for fear of failure. So like my list is very short because of that. or like it's a few things that I've like, look at now and I go, no, I'm so glad I did that. But for the most part, I'm like, I could write you a laundry list of like things that I might have failed at had I tried.
So it's the fact that we didn't even go there.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyone else feel like that? Yeah, lots. Okay, cool. Any others? Any other interesting ones that we haven't mentioned? Yes.
Spending so much time researching health and nutrition, even studying nutrition about my own being overweight.
Right. So similar thing to down here. Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Yes.
Yeah, similar. Like, I'm like trying to be really healthy, not drink as much, and then not drink at all, and then all of a sudden I'll just have a bender, and then I'm like, and then I'm just like beating myself up when I do that. Like, I know it makes me feel like crap, but you know, it's like a vicious circle, and then I do it again, and I don't know.
Yeah. Can anyone else relate to that one? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Any others that we haven't mentioned? Yes, Pip. Big loud voice.
I've got a few, but it's one of them that I'm talking about is in friendships.
Friendships. Yeah.
And there's a few different things. Sometimes not showing up as my best self, and sometimes also not the situation where I didn't react in the right way.
Mhm.
And didn't necessarily step up.
Yep.
How I want to act, and letting, I guess a lot of mine come back to fear, which I think a few people have sort of touched on as well. It's sort of, to me, the two seem quite closely linked. When I look at my list, it's lots of I'm afraid, so I don't do something, and it's all about my mean girl and the preconception of how I should be, and then not being like that or not showing up in a certain way. So there's a few for me that all sort of link in like that.
Yeah, and as a result, I failed. Yeah, okay, great. Were you going to share one too?
Yeah, I was going to say, when I became a mum, I think I really lost my identity a little bit, and I felt like I failed there especially because I used to work with children. There was this expectation of, wow, you've got it all sorted, you know who you are, and I really did. I lost my identity. I'm still trying to battle with that a little bit. I think when you become a mum, your whole dynamic changes. You're like, I want my career. I'm passionate about what I do, but I don't want it to sacrifice being a mum. But then I'm, and I kind of like for a little bit was like, holy shit, like everything. I don't know where I am anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think not handling motherhood in the way that I thought I would, I felt like a bit of a failure initially.
Yeah, I'm sure so many other people can relate to that. Yeah. Any others we haven't said that are interesting or hilarious? Yes.
I failed to love myself enough to create the boundaries I needed. That's my big one.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sure everyone can relate to that one. Yeah, that's really big. Any other goodies? Yes.
I failed at the fitness, so I had 3 months to train.
Yep. Did you get to the end of the marathon?
I did, but not nearly enough time.
Yeah. I think that's a success then, You got over the finish line. Rhiannon, yes, did you want to say one?
Yeah, I've got a couple as well, but one of them is when I scratched the car.
Failed at reverse parking. Yep. Yep, failed to look after your car. Yep, that's a good one. Any others you want to share?
When I haven't managed to save enough money.
Yes. We haven't had any money ones. I was waiting for a money one. Yeah, and I've been waiting for a relationship one, breakup ones. Anyone failed at any of them?
Lots.
Yeah, lots. Yeah, lots.
But was it me?
Yes. Any others that we haven't said?
I wasn't a breakup one, but it was, like you talked about when you get into an argument and you can say things out of fear and love.
Yep.
Very different. I've, like said things and I know they're out of fear, and then in that moment, I'm like, oh,
And so as a result, you thought that was a failure, reacting from a place of fear as opposed to a place of love. Yeah, okay, I'm sure everyone can relate to that as well. Anyone else got any others that we should mention? Yes.
Well, my top one was relationships, and I was quite surprised when you guys mentioned it. So, and my other one was school, like education.
Yeah.
Feeling like I didn't try enough or I didn't go enough, study enough. So
Yep.
I felt like I failed there.
Yep. Now, everything that we've written down and everything that we've spoken about, like Tony Robbins says in this quote, failure is a stepping stone to success. It's not a failure if you learn something.